Hi YouTube, this is Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com and today's video is all about November empties. I've been having a new appreciation for empties videos because I've been getting positive feedback from you, and also because by the time I'm finished with a product, I can really give a lot of opinions and a good overview of it versus just first impressions or even impressions halfway down the bottle. If you have any ideas for what kind of content you would like to see in the future videos, or questions and just general thoughts, please leave me a comment and I will definitely get back to you and I will take your idea into consideration. You may have noticed that in the last several empties videos, I have quite a few full-size products that I'm finishing, and that's not by accident. I have been very intentional with my Korean beauty and skincare products. I've been really trying to focus on using and appreciating and enjoying the things that I own versus buying something new constantly. I've definitely gotten myself in a bit of a trouble before, especially around this time of year when there are all these sales and specials and the spirit of buying is in the air, and I would get quite a few more things than what I could reasonably use up, and I do use them up anyway. But what ends up happening is I would have a stockpile of things under my sinks and in my fridge, and new and exciting items come around all the time. They're just new releases, all kinds of wonderful things like that. So now this year I decided to try and not stock up on things even though they're on sale and special, and only purchase the items that I can reasonably use up in the next maybe 2, 3, or even up to 4 months. And so you will see a lot of these full-size product empties. I didn't necessarily start them all in November and then finish them in November. Many of them have been started months ago, and I've used them either interchangeably with other products or just occasionally, but all of them were completely out in November. These are in no particular order. The first one I have is this CICAGO Cica Expert Mist Toner. And Cica is a very popular ingredient in Korean beauty. It is known by several different names. Obviously, Cica is one of them. Another one is Centella asiatica, or sometimes it's referred to as tiger grass. I've talked about this product before, I believe, in my redness video. Centella is great for redness and inflammation help. It has different soothing properties, and in general it is included in products that are aimed for sensitive skin and acne prone skin. This was a wonderful toner. It came in a spray bottle. I don't even have enough for a spritz, but it created a really fine, nice mist, and I used to originally spray it into my palms and then apply it as a regular toner. Then I got used to sort of spraying my face with it and appreciated that. One note about mists: if you choose to mist throughout the day, just be very careful, because simply applying moisture like this to the skin without sealing it in with anything can actually leave you drier than you were before. So when the water, this toner, evaporates, it takes with it even more moisture out of your skin. So I only use mists in the mornings or at night during my regular skincare regimen, not throughout the day. And I spray it on and then do essence or serum and whatever else I'm using, and then finish it off with a nice occlusive layer, so some sort of a cream that would keep all of that hydration at bay and keep it all in the skin versus allow it all to evaporate. And if you're into tips like that, check out my previous video and the video before that. I have a 2-part series, one with bad skincare advice and what to do instead, and then one with my tips and tricks that I've discovered over years and years of being a skincare fan. Next item is another mist, but it's a different kind. It is by a brand called Aqulabo. I might not be pronouncing that right. I can't get it to focus, but it's the Aqulabo Mask Boosting Jelly Mist. This came in a subscription box called Joa Box, and I will link a review to that in the description box, to their box itself. It's kind of a mystery K-beauty box where you get some full-size products and some smaller travel size products, and you never know which exactly you're gonna get, but it's lesser known brands, and This is not a sponsored video. They did send me some boxes for free to review, but I've enjoyed them. I think they're good value and interesting, and especially since they use lesser known brands versus just your mass market stuff that most of the people who are into Korean beauty are already familiar with. This little bottle is a travel size. It usually comes in a bigger size, and it had a very interesting texture. It's like a gel, but it's still sprayed out. And the whole purpose of this product is to make your sheet masks work better. So it's a booster to be applied before using a sheet mask or before using some sort of skin treatment. I just used it before sheet masks. One thing to note, I can't really tell if it made my sheet masks more effective or not. It was pleasant to use, didn't give me any kind of side effects, and I pretty much used it instead of a toner before a sheet mask. I kept it in my bathroom where I do my sheet masks usually. But one interesting thing is on the back here, I don't know if you can see, right here, there's this little box, and I cannot get my camera to focus, sorry about that, but it has a little 6 and a letter M in there, and that means that from the day that this has been opened, you should use it up within 6 months. And that's standard signage on skincare and beauty products. You'll see that sometimes 12M, 6M, whatever. And that just means that from the day you open it, that's how long you have to use it up. So it took me several months to use up this tiny size. And I kind of wonder if you buy a big size, if that's even possible to use up within 6 months. But this was nice, kind of skin entertainment value, so it was fun to use. I'm not sure it did anything too spectacular, but it didn't do any harm, so there's that at least. This is a peeling gel by a company called Second Design. I actually won this in a giveaway. I've talked about this before. And it's a very nice product. It was gentle. If you're not familiar, the purpose of a peeling gel is to provide gentle exfoliation of the skin. Peeling gels can usually be used once or twice a week, depending on what your skin feels like. I usually do about twice a week, and if I do it once a week, then for the second time, I do some kind of peeling pad. I try to really stay on top of exfoliation, but do it gently. This lasted me a good amount of time. I squeezed every last drop out of it. The bottle is pretty dented here. And it uses only non-toxic green, as defined by EWG database ingredients. Had a slight scent to it. It might actually be fragrance free. I don't have the ingredients list on here, but it had a bit of a scent to it that wasn't unpleasant or anything like that, but nothing strong. It's a nice mild peeling gel. I think it would be a good option for somebody who's never used a peeling gel, or just anybody who would like one without all the extra fragrance, without being too harsh. I enjoyed it. It was slightly more liquid in texture than some of the other peeling gels that I've used, but that wasn't a big deal for me. I mean, it still did a job wonderfully. And in the past, I've had also a cleansing oil by this brand, which was also very nice. So I think I might have to take a closer look at this brand in general, just see what else they offer, because these two products that I've had a very good experience with it. Before I forget, I always mean to mention this in my Empties videos, and I always forget because I get so into it, and then toward the end of the video I just can't remember to mention this. But please be sure to recycle the packages. On a lot of them you'll see a little triangle with the arrows, and that means that it can be recycled. I rinse mine out and just put them in the recycling bin. You might have some different guidelines depending on where you live, but most of these things are plastic, can be recycled. The same goes for sheet mask envelopes that they come with, the little packets. I rinse those out and I throw them in the recycling. It's a small step, it doesn't cost you anything but a couple minutes of time, and it reduces things in our landfills and so on. This is one of my absolutely favorite products for hair. I think this was my second, I think this is actually my third tube. I think, yes, I think it's my third one. It's by a brand called Elizavecca. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. As usual, I'm never sure. It is their CER 100 Collagen Ceramide Coating Protein Treatment. It is basically a deeply nourishing, protecting hair mask that has the texture and consistency of a liquid hair conditioner. I am tired. It has been a long week and it's only Wednesday. Okay, anyways, it is a lovely product. I first got it way back in 2017, in early 2017. Not this tube, but my very first tube of it. And because in the late 2016, I had an awful perm attempt at a salon where they burned my hair, and it didn't even take. The perm didn't take, but the damage did, and my hair would just tangle like crazy. It was just so fine. It's already fine anyway, but it was just so fragile and so damaged, and I didn't want to cut it because I was getting married and I was really trying to save it. I ended up giving up and cutting it eventually, but this product was a lifesaver because I would apply it from about ear level all the way down about once a week after washing the hair, leave it on for about 10 minutes, and then rinse it off with lukewarm water. And it coats the hair in this collagen protein mix, and it makes the hair very shiny but not greasy at all, not heavy, and it wouldn't tangle, which was a big win for me because when my fragile hair tangled, it would break. So I really enjoy this. The price point for it is not very bad. Elizavecca in general is a pretty affordable brand. I have kind of hit and miss feelings, with them. Some products are great, and some of them are just super fragranced and very heavy on colorants and don't agree with my skin. But this is one of those great ones. So I would highly recommend it. I would definitely repurchase it. It's wonderful. And it lasts me quite a bit of time. I mean, it's just several months, usually once a week or so use. I probably wouldn't use it too often, just the one little warning. Any kind of product with collagen or any product that is marketed as a protein treatment can make your hair brittle if you use too much of it. So this is definitely where less is more. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing in this case. So just use sparingly, but once or twice a week I think would be okay for most people. Sticking with the hair theme, I have this TS All Natural Shampoo, and it has an interesting description. Makes your hair abundant and provides vital elements for hair. Abundant hair, you guys, right here in this bottle. It is supposed to be hair growth promoting, anti-hair loss type of product. In my opinion, it just is not worth its price tag. I'll leave links to everything I'm talking about in the description box, as well as links for full reviews if I have them on my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com. But this one, it was a fine shampoo. It got my hair, my scalp clean, smells kind of fruity. I'm not a big fan of the scent, but there was nothing extraordinary about it. I mean, it was just as any regular drugstore shampoo. I prefer a non-Korean brand called Amica that is made in Israel, and I've talked about that in my prior videos before, but this was fine. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it justifies the price tag, but there is nothing awful about it, so it's just okay. If you know a really good shampoo that you love that is suitable for colored hair, because I color my hair with henna, and henna can fade quite a bit with shampoos that are too harsh. But if you have a good one that is Korean, leave me a comment, please, because I want to check it out. This product here, I have debated doing a review on my blog, and then decided to go ahead and do it anyway. And the reason I debated it is because this is not in production anymore, or at least that is my understanding. When I try to look for it anywhere as far as to purchase, I do not see it. And if I do find one, the pricing seems quite a bit higher than what I paid, which happens sometimes when products go out of production. The remaining stock just skyrockets in price because if people really love it, they're trying to stock up. But this was a wonderful, wonderful mask. I bought it on the Misha official website. It doesn't anywhere on here say that it's Misha, which is interesting. But it is a Near Skin Dermacosmetic Dustless Bubble Pack to Foam. And like I said, I've reviewed it on my blog before, but it is basically a classic foaming bubble mask. So it started out looking almost like a clay mask. You can apply to the face after cleansing, or sometimes even before. I did it after usually. Let it foam, then add water. This is where this called before cleansing comes in. Once you add water, it foams. It becomes a foaming cleanser. So then it's supposed to take all the impurities off, even if you're just starting out with a dirty face. But I like to double cleanse first and then do this kind of as an extra step, maybe once a week or sometimes twice, but usually just once a week. I loved everything about it, from the scent to the creamy texture that it starts out as, to the wonderful, gentle, abundant foam that it formed. And then my skin always felt so clean afterwards, but not tight, not stripped. And I hate telling you about this wonderful product, realizing that you probably can't get your hands on it. And I'm sorry about that. This is part of why I am trying not to stock up on stuff and trying to use up the things that I have while they're still current, while they're still being sold, while people can still purchase them. Because what's good a review if you can't even go get the thing that, if you like it? So I know that maybe possibly some local to you stores maybe have it, or maybe you can get your hands on a jar. Do try it. I do have one friend who's not a huge fan of this, but I personally love it. The one note I will tell you about any kind of foaming bubble mask, be careful and don't apply it too close to the eyes, because when you wash it off, like especially with this one, you get your hands wet and then you start massaging it and it turns into this foaming cleanser. I've gotten the foam from that in my eyes before, and it is absolutely not fun. I do not recommend that. Do not do that. So, but this is a wonderful product, and I really, really, really liked it. Another wonderful product that you fortunately can still purchase. It is still available. It is Mamonde Pore Clean Clay Mask. And this one I just ran out of just in the last few days, I think. It is such a fantastic product. It is a clay mask, but it's absolutely non-drying. So just a little backstory. Back in the day, before Korean beauty was a thing for me, I used to attempt clay masks. The kinds that you buy at the store and they come dry, and you add some water and you put it on the face, and then it says to let it dry and then try to wash it off. And it is the absolutely worst experience ever, because first of all, there's this super tight feeling as it dries, and then trying to get all of that rehydrated and off the face is a complete chore. Plus I have very sensitive skin, not necessarily sensitive to the ingredients, but definitely sensitive to friction and outside influences. So trying to get all of that clay off was just painful and hard, and it would turn my face red. And I gave up on clay masks, and I thought clay masks are awful and they're horrible and that's not for me, and I don't understand why people use them. And then I started using Korean beauty and reading all these reviews, and I learned that you are not supposed to let a clay mask dry on your face. That the clay mask, while it is moist, absolutely absorbs all the impurities that it's supposed to absorb. All the clays works just fine. And if you allow it to dry, it actually pulls all the water out of your skin and makes your skin dry. So you don't want that. And in fact, if the mask cannot stay wet for the duration of the application, so if the instructions say keep on for 10 minutes and 5 minutes into it you feel that it's getting dry, you can go ahead and spritz it with a mist, or I like to do my clay masks while sitting in the tub, and the steam helps them stay nice and wet. So knowing all of that, I got this, and this was not a dry clay. This is already pre-mixed, so you have very creamy consistency, green in color, and little tiny pieces of very finely ground walnuts. I am not a big fan of physical exfoliations like apricot shells and walnut things, or apricot seeds. Apricots don't have shells. Again, it's been a very long day. I'm not even going to edit this out. You guys probably can relate. I mean, this is a struggle of being a working parent and trying to blog at night after the kids are in bed. So that's just what life is. But anyways, so it had little pieces of walnut in it. And I'm not a big fan of physical exfoliators like that, because sometimes they can cause micro tears and cause some trauma. However, in this particular product, they're so few and far between that it really didn't matter. It wasn't a big deal. So it is applied to clean skin. I usually kind of pat it dry just a little bit, or just kind of push off the water a little bit. I talked in my last video about not using face towels and all the reasons for not using them. So I just kind of sweep the water off with my hand a little, just so I'm not applying it to a dripping wet face. But apply it to clean face and leave it on for about 10 minutes, in which time it absolutely does not get dry. It stays very nice and moist, and then wash it off. And what happens is the skin is just so velvety smooth. absolutely amazing feeling. It is not tight, not dry, and while there's some debate on whether or not pores can be made smaller, most dermatologists will say no, they cannot be made smaller physically, but they can appear smaller if they're very clear, if they're not full of sebum and impurities, and they can just visually look smaller. And that has been my experience with this. I have not seen as much congestion and things like that in my pores while using it. So I would definitely repurchase this. And in fact, the mask that I just talked about, the Dustless Pore one, the foaming one, this brand Mamonde makes a really good bubble mask as well. I didn't love it as much as the Dustless one, but it's still very good quality and quite comparable. And I think that one's still being made, so you could actually get your hands on it. So that's something to try if you're kind of interested in a foaming bubble mask type product. Thank you very much for watching. Visit my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, for more reviews. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, or I also have a Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. If you have specific questions or if you want to share your own reviews, please join that. We don't allow advertisement or self-promotion, but we definitely allow and encourage opinion sharing and just finding other people that are into the same things as you are, and hopefully we can all share our knowledge and experience and ask questions and just have this fun little community of Korean and Asian beauty lovers. I will see you next Saturday. I hope you're having a lovely week. I hope you're spending lots of time with friends and family and doing the things you love, especially if it's the holiday season for you. I know it's not holidays all around the world, but it is where I live. So I hope you are having a wonderful time with that. I will see you next Saturday. And until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you.